So, pardon me while I put on my fashion glasses. Um,
They are fashionable.
all right. So this is a couple questions in one, but they're basically the same. What is your why for becoming a Beachbody coach? Everybody who becomes a coach really needs to feel why. Now, you've told us some of those reasons, but I'm just going to continue here. Without this why, it's definitely, we both know this, definitely more difficult to connect with people and to find people who you can help. So how do I say, in getting in touch with and fully to connect to your why, what is your daily fuel for continuously putting out this new content? For example, your why might be to retire your spouse or to give your children or your family the kind of lifestyle you never had. That would be an example. So again, in a nutshell, what is your why for becoming a Beachbody coach?
All right. In the beginning, my why was because I was afraid of starving. I was afraid of becoming homeless, which I kind of almost was. I was fearful of losing my first tier needs. That's pretty scary. You know, your first tier is, am I going to eat? Am I going to breathe? Am I going to be alive? Am I going to have shelter? Am I going to be alive? So that was kind of my original why. So that was extremely motivating for me. I didn't need anybody else to motivate me. I was more than sufficiently motivated. And then over the course of time, my why has evolved a lot, has progressed. And a lot of people's why, they don't evolve because they stay stuck because they're not doing anything different. It drives me crazy to see that. But now my why is, okay, I want to be here for my parents, which I am now. They're older. They're not as mobile as they used to be. They require care, emphasis the word care. And what better person to provide that care than their son, a close family member? So I don't have to go to a job. I can be here. I can care for them. I can help with all that stuff. It's a big deal. And also another why has popped up. I'm adopted. I finally found my birth family just a few years ago. I had already achieved financial freedom and independence when I had found them. That means when I connected with them, found out that they are long distance, I did not have to go to some boss and grovel for the time off or just ask permission, whatever the formal protocol would be. You're basically asking permission from a gatekeeper who could say yay or nay for any reason or no reason. I didn't have to go through that humiliation. I could do it, and I didn't have to check my bank account. The cash was there because I'm making residual and passive money, the complete opposite of ordinary earned job money. So I was set. I could go. It was only like 3 weeks later after I initially got in touch with my birth family. I was on an airplane out to the beautiful wilderness of Colorado to visit with them for the second time. The first time I don't remember because I was only like a day and a half old. So that was an incredible experience. And I've been going out there a couple times or so a year ever since then, just continuing to build these new relationships with my new extended family. So that's a big part of my why now too. And another part of my why is the mystery of the unknown, because I know that no matter what, and everybody listening to this knows this too, there's some phone call you're going to get tomorrow, and you're either going to be free or you're not, period. Really, someone's going to pass on, you're going to need to be there, maybe you can't, maybe you have to make a tough decision between your job and your income or whatever. It sucks, and there's no need to live that way. You can emerge just like I did at some point in the future if you get started like yesterday. But yesterday's gone, so that leaves today. And then, a year or two or whatever, that time's going to pass anyway. So I figure the time thing, it doesn't make any sense to throw that out there. That's so dumb. That time is passing anyway. So I want to emerge, and now that I've emerged, I want to stay there. And it really lights me up if I can equip other people to do the same thing for their own why. And my why, I'm sure, will continue to evolve.
That's really a great story. I really like that a lot. I have a question for you that popped up for me. Quickly, could you explain what you mean by residual and passive? Aren't those the same, or are they very different? Could you explain the difference, please?
Sure. Residual income is basically, I'll use an example. It's basically you're building on top of what's already there. So you start at nothing typically, and let's say your first year you make, I don't know, $20,000, but it's residual. So the second year you don't have to try to recreate that like you would at a job. Constantly recreating, that's where the hamster wheel paycheck comes into play. Because if you stop, the income stops and you starve. With this, that's established. Year number 2, maybe I triple it to 60,000. Again, year number 3, I don't start over at 0 or 20 for that matter. I keep going, and maybe it doubles that year, who knows, but it builds residually. Another popular way to build residual income is to buy rental properties, because you buy every property is residually new income building on top of itself. But who has 25% down payment for a house? I mean, you're talking tens of thousands of dollars. So that's not a viable option for almost everybody. So network marketing is like the way to go. And then passive money basically is just money that comes in, whether it doesn't matter what you do with your time. You could take a vacation, you can work, you could not work. There's an old saying, you can roll over in bed or roll out of bed, and that money comes in anyway. So that's your freedom. Residual and passive money are the only income types that sets you free. Any other income type, you're a slave to money. You're actually needy on a paycheck, or you cannot pay your bills, or you starve. That's every job a paycheck, and it's most self-employment people too.
Nice. All right.